Privacy and the Imperfection of Money. Why transparency is the foundation of a true market. Introduction. The paradox of privacy in a market system. Markets depend on information. Every price, bid, and transaction is a signal of relative value. Yet privacy, often seen as a safeguard of freedom, creates friction in this signal system. When individuals conceal information about their productivity, risk, or intent, money ceases to perfectly reflect value. The perfect money would act as an uncorrupted mirror of all productive action and potential within the economy. But privacy introduces noise into that mirror. It hides negative externalities, rewards deception, and severs accountability from consequence. Thus, far from being a protection of liberty, privacy is the single greatest inhibitor to the perfection of money and, by extension, the perfection of the market itself. 2. The function of money, information infrastructure. Money's primary role is not material exchange, but information transmission. Prices are signals. Money is the communication medium. In an ideal system, money would encode perfect knowledge about the productive value of every individual and asset, an evolutionary record of contribution toward the collective goal of survival and advancement. But when actors withhold data, falsify transactions, or obscure ownership, money loses precision. It no longer reflects true productivity, but instead measures strategic concealment. Privacy converts a public good, information, into a private weapon. 3. The economic cost of privacy. Moral hazard and asymmetric information. Privacy allows participants to externalize costs, polluting, defrauding, or evading responsibility, because others cannot perfectly observe cause and effect. The entire insurance, auditing, and enforcement apparatus exists to compensate for this opacity. Reputation distortion. Without visibility, past productivity cannot be accurately measured. Reputation, which should be a stable currency of trust, becomes manipulable. Fraud, corruption, and speculation thrive in hidden systems. Price manipulation and arbitrage. Hidden information lets insiders exploit inefficiencies, profiting from ignorance rather than production. Transparency, by contrast, would destroy arbitrage based on deception and push all profit toward productive innovation. Delayed equilibrium. Privacy slows the feedback loops that drive markets toward equilibrium. Delayed feedback means inefficient capital allocation, bubbles, and crashes, symptoms of a market that is informationally incomplete. 4. Perfect money and transparency. The perfect money is not merely stable or scarce, it is omniscient. It reflects the complete network of productive interactions, recording every transaction, contribution, and consequence in real time. Such money would measure reputation as the cumulative record of verified productivity, eliminate need for taxation, enforcement, or redistribution, as every act is automatically accounted for. Collapse the distinction between moral and economic behavior, as both would be rewarded or punished through transparent feedback loop. In this sense, the perfect money is the infrastructure of civilization's nervous system, a distributed ledger of evolutionary progress. The evolutionary argument. In evolutionary terms, transparency is selection pressure. Hidden behavior cannot be selected for or against, slowing the system's adaptation. Privacy is evolutionary entropy. It prevents correction of destructive strategies. Over time, systems that maximize transparency outcompete those that suppress it. Just as organisms evolve better sensory apparatus to survive, civilizations evolve better information systems to optimize productivity. Perfect money is the end stage of this process. 6. Conclusion. Privacy as the final economic fallacy. The belief in privacy as a virtue is an evolutionary relic, useful in primitive competitive environments but maladaptive for a global, interdependent civilization. A perfect market requires perfect information. Perfect information requires transparency. Therefore, privacy is not the foundation of freedom, it is the boundary of ignorance that prevents money from fulfilling its ultimate function as the infrastructure of an intelligent, self-optimizing market system.